you. Now the weather is getting darker out there at the moment. It's noticeably cooler out on the racetrack at the moment. And cloud cover, no direct sunlight. What will the cars behave like? And you can see varying directions here, different levels of weather, but they might need to be tested. Early in the week there was a lot of chat about the fact that we were going to see where the take have a situation. But certainly, as I came to the commentary box and I'm in your comments, Martin, only just lapped to come back in the island, it felt very different down there. It's colder and it's darker. But the emotion on the grid, that was backwards like, Neil. That was absolutely the emotion. You could see Greg Murphy. There were so many other New Zealanders down there and the locals were just screamed between all the cars. We have a look at our Century Batteries tech facts in terms of what we're going to experience this afternoon. Really, the bumps are the story. It doesn't have any tyre wear. And what's going to happen into turn one is the interesting one for me because it's only 250 metres from pole position to the turning point to turn one. And because there's not much in the way of and he makes a little mistake and we've got caught. This is going to trigger a safety car. Trouble already off the start and more trouble down here at turn 4. That was almost off Will Davison because there's the damage to Courtney's Mustang against the fence on the way to turn 1. But Will Davison, there was a bump from Cam Waters as they got to turn 2 and he only just stayed on the island. It almost put the leader off the road. That was a wild start. He tripped awkwardly because he's trying to push so hard on a cold tyre. The tread face isn't up, the pressures are not up, therefore it doesn't have the grip. And trouble here also for Todd Hazelwood at the end of the back chute. So, safety car, good news that we can see. Let's get out the other side. So, parked so heavily against the concrete barriers. Yeah, sorry, I was just listening to the race management channel. They're just giving instruction to drivers. But yeah, James looking okay and jumping out the other side. Heavy contact. Crowd applause. Everybody please understand that he's all right. Shows the aftermath doesn't really that is very fast. I mean, hard to tell. This is the onboard vision from Cam. Watch this. So they're actually, they're line astern. They're actually against each other. That might have been part of the reason why Will looked a bit awkward down there. He might have been wearing a Mustang. It was, he had a monster Mustang running against him. But have a look at what's going on here because James then moves over to cover Kostecki. So you're right, he's got a left-hand rear wheel in the grass. Then there's a bump and then it flicks the other way. That's going fast, that's fourth gear. So lost Kostecki on the outside. And then it was another classic squeeze. Just was brave. Cam Waters was trying to get right around the outside. And at that stage, I was valve bouncing about the possibility of him being able to do that, to get around the outside. But then they were absolutely locked in combat all the way into turn 4. And there's the resultant damage on the left front corner of Todd Hazelwood's car, I beg your pardon. So unfortunately for James, they're just interlocked wheels ever so briefly. It's just flicked it out into the left side fence there.
Well, you see it.
Side the garage of Truck Assist Racing for Matt Stone. So they'll hopefully be able to rectify and get that back out there in order to have it qualified. They need to achieve 31 laps to do that, Rihanna.
And they've just had a horror weekend. All weekend, Neil, Truck Assist, they've had Jack LeBrock with power steering issues. Jack LeBrock was in the garage for the previous race with
down there. It's very difficult to properly describe what it's like to arrive down there with a tonne and a half of supercar, with the impetus of competition driving you to make sure that you get there first on a cold tyre on sometimes a dirty racetrack, because there's been support categories and other vehicles on the racetrack, so it's often not pristine in terms of grip. So this is what it's like. You leap off the line, plucking gears, and at this stage it's all adrenaline, and you will do anything, including selling your grandmother, to make sure that you're in front of your nearest competitor. Yeah, oh, I haven't seen a car that went in. I haven't seen a car go in that fence on the left-hand side as hard as that, probably in the history of the place here. We know how fast it is, but so you're doing your gears. Yeah, well, you change out of first to second gear here at 103 kilometres an hour, so you break the legal speed limit in first gear shift. Second to third is 134. Third to fourth is 166. Now, James would have most likely got to somewhere in this range here between about 160 and 200 k's. Yep. So he would have been in third, maybe fourth gear, but I reckon if he did get to fourth, it would be only just, because you've also got to fan the throttle a bit when all that stuff's going on, so you might have actually sort of steadied up the whole notion of blazing hard into one. I don't think he did. He was going fast. I think you're giving him credit for coming off the throttle. I don't think he was off the throttle at all. Well, he was further down too on the grid, so he might actually... way back.
Let's grab James Courtney. He's just come back in the medical car. First question, you okay?
Yeah.
I'm good, man. No, yeah, physically okay. A bit, disappointing. Had the last round here, and to go out and start. You run